My closest friend revealed my husband's infidelity and supported me through my divorce, only to get engaged to him 3 months later, using the very ring he'd once bought for me. Let me give you the context that makes this chaotic situation clearer. Nora and I have been best friends since we were 15, sharing 12 years of memories, sleepovers, college dorm life, and more. She stood by me during my father's cancer scare at 19, guided me through my quarter-life crisis when I left law school to pursue a career as a pastry chef, and even introduced me to my now ex-husband, Sam, at a house party when we were 22. Sam and I tied the knot 3 years ago, and I genuinely believed our marriage was strong, not flawless, but reliable. He had a stable job at a mid-sized company, while I ran a small bakery specializing in wedding cakes. We lived a cozy life in our first home with our quirky rescue cat, Biscuit. Meanwhile, Nora was always the friend with a turbulent love life, never quite finding the one. She'd visit me at least twice a month, venting about her latest romantic misadventure while I baked her my go-to stress relief chocolate chip cookies. Here's where things take a wild turn. About 6 months ago, Nora's behavior shifted, not drastically, as she's always been a bit theatrical, but noticeably. She started dropping subtle remarks about Sam that I initially dismissed as her being overprotective. She'd question if I was sure he was working late when he said he was, or mentioned spotting him somewhere when he'd told me he was heading home. These comments planted tiny doubts, which I chalked up to her concern for me. Nora's job is demanding, with an erratic schedule filled with networking events and client dinners. So her seeing Sam around our town of about 50,000 people didn't seem far-fetched. Then came the conversation that shattered my world. 4 months ago, Nora asked me to meet her for coffee, sounding unusually serious. She sat me down and revealed she had devastating news. Sam was cheating. She claimed she'd agonized over whether to tell me for weeks, saying it was tearing her apart, but she couldn't let me live in denial. She said she'd hired a private investigator, an extreme move but classic Nora drama, and had proof of the affair. However, she refused to share the evidence, saying it would break me to see the details. She also wouldn't reveal the other woman's identity, only saying it was someone close to us, and that naming her would devastate me beyond repair. She insisted the focus should be on Sam's betrayal, not the woman's identity, positioning herself as a loyal friend, sacrificing her own peace to protect me. I was heartbroken, naturally, but looking back, Nora seemed too prepared for that conversation. She had answers for every question, reasons why she couldn't share specifics, and arguments for why I needed to act immediately. At the time, I was too overwhelmed to notice how rehearsed it felt. That evening, I confronted Sam, who denied everything, not casually, but with genuine confusion and pain that I'd accuse him. He pleaded for details about the evidence, but I had none since Nora wouldn't provide it. This led to a toxic cycle of me demanding he admit to something he insisted he didn't do, while he begged to know why I doubted him. Nora kept urging me to leave him, calling daily, showing up unexpectedly, and reinforcing that I deserved better than a cheating spouse. She offered her apartment as a temporary home, connected me with a divorce lawyer, and even offered to cover legal fees. At the time, I saw her as my rock. Now I see she was dismantling my marriage. The divorce was finalized in about 2 months since we had no kids and agreed on most terms. Sam was so worn down that he signed whatever was presented to him. During this period, Nora was my constant support, helping me pack, comforting me through tears, and bringing food when I was too down to cook. She kept assuring me I was making the right choice, that I was strong for leaving, and that I deserved fidelity. 3 months after the divorce, I was scrolling Instagram when I saw Nora's post. She was at a fancy restaurant, sporting a ring I recognized instantly. It was the engagement ring Sam had bought for me, the one he'd returned during our divorce. Her caption gushed about love finding you unexpectedly and how the right person is often right under your nose. Comments congratulated her with Sam tagged repeatedly. My ex-husband Sam, whom Nora had labeled a cheating jerk who didn't deserve me. I called her immediately. She admitted she and Sam had been having an affair for over a year. There was no private investigator, no proof of Sam cheating with anyone else. Just Nora fabricating a story to cover her own guilt. She justified it, saying she was liberating me from a doomed marriage, claiming she could tell Sam wasn't truly happy with me and that they shared a deeper bond. She even said I'd thank her one day for saving me from a loveless marriage and helping Sam be with his true love. I hung up and haven't spoken to her since. That was 3 months ago, and this ordeal has turned my life upside down. I've lost not only my husband, but my best friend of 12 years. Most mutual friends have stayed neutral, though a few have expressed happiness for Sam's new relationship, seemingly oblivious to Nora's role in destroying my marriage. The worst part? I can't fully rage at Sam for cheating because he did, and I can't be mad about him moving on since we've been divorced for months. Nora has somehow painted herself as both my savior and the woman who won her fairy tale ending with my ex-husband. So I'm torn. Should I be grateful that Nora got me out of a marriage where my husband was unfaithful, even if her motives were selfish? Mostly, I feel betrayed by the person I trusted most, and I can't shake the sting of her manipulation. Edit, yes, I have Biscuit the cat with me. Smiling face with smiling eyes, update 1. Your responses to my original post were eye-opening and the consensus was clear. Nora is a master manipulator who engineered my divorce to take Sam for herself. Your comments helped me see the bigger picture. Some of you asked for a clearer timeline, so here's more context. After reflecting, I realized Nora's odd behavior didn't start 6 months ago. It began about 18 months ago, around the time she split with her last serious boyfriend, Eric. Eric was a great guy, stable and kind, and I genuinely liked him, which was rare for Nora's partners. Their breakup seemed sudden, with Nora claiming Eric wasn't intellectually engaging enough. Now I suspect it coincided with the start of her affair with Sam. Following your advice, I did some digging. I couldn't access Sam's records, but I reviewed my old phone bills and noticed frequent calls and texts between Nora and Sam from 14 months ago, often when I was at work. They were friends through me, so some contact wasn't odd, but the volume was suspicious. I also revisited my social media posts from the past 18 months. In group photos, Nora and Sam often stood closer than I'd noticed, or she'd be looking at him while he was distracted. In one photo from my birthday last year, everyone's facing the camera except Nora, who's staring at Sam as he laughs. I thought she was just happy for him then. Now it feels sinister. The real confirmation came when I reached out to Eric, as some of you suggested. He responded quickly and shared that Nora started pulling away from him emotionally around the time she began commenting on Sam to me. She'd pick fights over trivial things and constantly compared Eric to Sam, praising Sam's intelligence and stability. Eric felt like Nora was fixated on Sam, and when he raised it, she accused him of being paranoid. She also asked Eric to avoid group hangouts with Sam and me, claiming it would be awkward post-breakup. In hindsight, she was clearing the way to pursue Sam. Your collective sleuthing was spot on. This wasn't a love story gone wrong, but a calculated plan by Nora to remove obstacles, including me, to get Sam. Now I'm unsure what to do with this knowledge. Some suggested telling Sam, but what's the point? He's engaged to her now. Either he was complicit in the deception, making him as guilty as Nora, or he was manipulated but chose to stay with her. I'm focusing on moving forward, growing my bakery, and rebuilding my social life without them. Still, a small part of me wonders how their relationship built on deceit will play out. Thanks, Reddit, for helping me see the truth. Update 2. Your support on my last update was incredible, and many of you asked for more updates, so here we are. I've been trying to focus on healing, as you advised, diving into my bakery, taking a pottery class. Yes, I'm that divorced woman now, and even going on a few casual dates. It's been refreshing to reconnect with life outside this drama. But of course, life had other plans. 3 weeks ago, I ran into Sam's mom, Carol, at the farmer's market where I sell my pastries. Carol, a kind, retired librarian who makes stunning quilts, was visibly uneasy, but approached my booth. She shared that Sam has been struggling with what seems like severe depression. He's going through the motions with Nora, but isn't himself, withdrawn, anxious, and unable to sleep. Carol mentioned he's been asking her about manipulation and emotional abuse, like whether it's normal for a partner to cut you off from friends or make you doubt your memories. It sounds like he's starting to question Nora's actions. Carol also noted that Nora is pushing for a rapid wedding, wanting to marry within months of their engagement, which was only 3 months after my divorce. She talks about wasted time and wanting a short engagement, which aligns with your warnings about manipulators rushing commitment to trap their partners. Here's where it gets wild. Nora contacted my bakery about making her wedding cake. She didn't identify herself using a muffled voice, but mentioned a venue, a mansion outside town where I've worked before, that tipped me off. I played along, saying I'd check my schedule, then declined the job citing conflicts. She offered double my rate, and when I refused, asked for other bakers' names, which I provided. But then she said she wanted my cakes because they're beautiful and meaningful, and my involvement would make her day complete. It felt like a power move to normalize her betrayal or a delusional belief that I'm fine with everything. I'm wrestling with whether to tell Sam what I've learned about Nora's tactics. He might be questioning things himself and my insight could help, but he chose to stay with her post-divorce. Should I intervene or keep focusing on my healing? Your thoughts, Reddit? Update 3. Here's what I hope is the final chapter, though my luck suggests more drama may lurk. Your advice last time was split between telling Sam what I know and staying out of it, which left me conflicted. Life, however, made the choice for me in an unexpected way. Many of you wondered why Sam, who I thought was a good guy, fell for Nora's manipulation. He was always skeptical and independent, so it puzzled me too. I got some clarity recently. 5 weeks ago, while catering a corporate event for a regular client, I overheard 2 partners discussing a case involving workplace harassment and gaslighting. They described how abusers isolate victims and distort their reality, exactly what Nora did to Sam and me. I realized she'd been eroding Sam's connections to friends, undermining his confidence, and subtly reshaping his memories over the past 18 months. Instead of confronting Sam, I wrote him a letter detailing Nora's behavior patterns, the timeline, Eric's insights, and Carol's concerns about his mental health. I clarified I wasn't trying to reconcile or sabotage his engagement, just giving him facts to make informed decisions. I mailed it to his office to avoid Nora intercepting it. 3 days later, Sam called, asking to meet privately. I hesitated but agreed, meeting him in a nearby town. He revealed Nora had been manipulating him for nearly 2 years, making him doubt our marriage, his friendships, and his judgment. She convinced him I was too focused on my bakery to love him, that his friends were immature, and that he was settling for less. Their affair began 8 months before Nora told me, but her emotional manipulation started earlier. By the time she exposed the affair, Sam was so isolated he followed her lead, believing they were destined to be together. He started doubting Nora post-divorce, but felt trapped by their engagement and her rush to marry. He apologized profusely, crying, and asked if we could reconcile. I declined. His manipulation doesn't erase his choices to cheat and proceed with Nora. I suggested therapy for emotional abuse and time to rediscover himself. Sam ended things with Nora shortly after, moving in with his parents and starting therapy. Nora claims he had a breakdown and that I manipulated him into leaving her. Ironic, right? Nora's been trying to contact me relentlessly, insisting her actions were out of love. I've blocked her everywhere and changed my number, documenting everything per my lawyer's advice. I'm not reconciling with Sam or engaging with him further, but I'm glad I gave him the information to make his own choices. Thanks, Reddit, for helping me navigate this mess and see the truth clearly.